Hi, I'm Matt from ArcESB, and I'm going to show you how Arc handles mapping data from one format into another. So let's get started. Arc uses XML as the common format for mapping and transforming data. First, you translate data into XML as a staging step. Then the actual transformation step involves converting one XML structure into another. So we can think of there being three parts to a data transformation flow. First, I'll translate my sample source data into XML. Second, I'll translate my sample destination data into XML. And third, I establish a mapping relationship between the source XML and the destination XML. For the first two steps, namely modeling data as XML, Arc has many connectors that translate between XML and a specific data format, like the X12, Edifact, and CSV connectors. Also, Arc automatically formats data pulled from databases and other backend systems as XML. For the third step, mapping between XML structures, Arc uses a single connector, the powerful XML Map Connector. Let's make this more concrete with an example. Let's say I receive EDI documents from a trading partner in X12 format, and I need to convert these X12 documents into CSV files to integrate them with my backend. What would this flow look like? Well, first would be an X12 connector, because I need to translate my source format into XML. Second, I need a CSV connector, because I also need to translate my destination format into XML. And third, I need an XML Map Connector in between these two to perform the mapping. I want my flow to be connected like this, so that data automatically flows from X12 to XML Map to CSV, and I'll save the flow changes to make these connections stick. It's important now to talk about the XML Map Connector, since it does the heavy lifting in any mapping project. I won't cover the full feature set in this video, but here's an overview. First, template files. The XML Map Connector needs to know the input structure and output structure for the mapping. These are specified as source file and destination file templates. Usually, the XML Map Connector will detect these templates from adjacent connectors in the flow. And as a backup, you can always upload XML files directly in the connector UI here. But let's focus on the template auto detection, which takes two different forms, one for databases or other backend systems, and one for files in various formats. If you have a database connector linked with an XML Map Connector, the XML Map Connector automatically reads any configured input mappings or output mappings as templates. If instead you have a file format connector, like these X12 and CSV connectors, then the upload test file feature can be used to create templates. So let's do that now. Inside the X12 connector, I'll navigate to the Input tab, use the More dropdown, and select Upload Test File. Now I'll navigate to an X12 document that represents the structure of my source files. Once the file is uploaded, I can switch to the XML Map Connector and see the source file dropdown now includes this new test file from the X12 connector. Now I'll do the same thing with the CSV connector. In the Input tab, I'll use the Upload Test File feature, then I'll navigate to a CSV file that represents the structure of my destination files, and then once the file is uploaded, I can return again to the XML Map Connector and see that the destination file dropdown has this new test file template. Alright, with my two template files in place, the XML structures appear in the Visual Designer, and I can start mapping one structure onto the other. The primary method of mapping the source onto the destination is simply dragging an element from the source and dropping it on the corresponding element in the destination. It's important, though, to distinguish between the two types of nodes, or elements, in the designer. Parent nodes have children but have no value, and these are the nodes that you can expand or minimize like this. Leaf nodes have no children but do have a value, like this one. Parent nodes can only map onto other parent nodes, and leaf nodes can only map onto other leaf nodes. When you map a parent node, it creates a for each relationship, like this. This means each time this green XPath occurs in the source document, the mapping will generate this destination element and all of its children elements. So, repeated elements in the source will generate repeated elements in the destination if they have this for each relationship. When you map a leaf node, it creates a value relationship. That is, whatever value is in the source element at this green XPath will be placed in the output element. Note that these value XPaths are relative to the for each XPath that it's inside of. So, you can concatenate these two XPaths to get the full path in the source document where this value is going to come from. Anytime these green XPaths do not start with a /, that means the XPath is relative to a for each XPath earlier in the document. In addition to the basic drag and drop mapping, the XML Map Connector has a few advanced mapping features that I'll mention here briefly. First, the expression editor, which is this tablet and pencil icon. You can use Arc's formatters to manipulate values during the mapping, like taking a substring or making a string uppercase. Second, you can add conditionals via this filter icon. Adding a conditional to a destination node means it will only appear in the output if the condition is true. And third, you can use this script icon to add custom logic to the mapping. Inside the script editor, you can write ArcScript and return the value for the output node as the result.txt value here. I'll save the details for writing custom ArcScript for another video. Okay, now that we've given an overview of the XML Map Connector, let's return to the bigger picture and recap how data travels through this mapping flow. First, an X12 document would arrive in ArcESB through some transport mechanism, like the AS2 connector. I've left that part out of this example to focus more on the mapping part. Next, this X12 connector translates the X12 document into XML. You can also configure it to validate the X12 structure and interchange headings. Then, the X12 XML is passed along to the XML Map Connector. The mapping that we built within the connector determines how this XML will be transformed into an XML structure that represents a CSV file. Then the CSV XML is passed along to the CSV connector, where it's translated from XML into an actual CSV file. And at this point, we have a CSV file containing the same EDI data as our original X12 document. And that's it! I hope this helps clarify how Arc handles mapping and data transformation. Thanks for watching. You can always find more resources at arcesb.com.